Mike Hayhurst, and I was the director, cinematographer, editor of Cook with the Heart, short mockumentary, comedy horror, somewhere in that genre, I guess you'd put it. So this started as kind of unofficial 48-hour film challenge. It was 2021. It was my second kind of pandemic birthday. I couldn't face another kind of sit outside in the park type thing. We were kind of just pre-vaccine, so we were trying to be a bit more, just aware and, sensitive to it. So I just called some friends and said, hey, would you be interested in, for my birthday weekend, just making a film? I'll throw some genres in a hat, a couple of different ideas that I'm interested in exploring, and we can all bring a prop, and then we'd write something Friday night, shoot it Saturday, and then Sunday I'd get as far as I possibly could with the edit. It was four of us just wanting to kind of have a bit of fun over a weekend and make a film. Halfway through the edit, and when I had that first assembly, that was when I thought, okay, there's something here that's actually very good. It's very funny. Maybe I take a bit more time with this. Maybe I find the right composer. Maybe we find the right kind of VFX artist to do some ghostly visual effects on it. And yeah, that's when we kind of decided to put some more time in and kind of put it out into the world and see how it would be responded to, received, how it would be received.
The original idea was just do it over the course of a single weekend. So how long did it end up taking you guys once you saw what you had and how good it was and what the potential it possessed?
Yeah, like I said, we shot everything on that one day, that one Saturday. I think there was one or two kind of insert shots just of weird things, which I went back to get. And then our composer, I think, took a few weeks to really kind of nail the tone of that, because we present this as a documentary. It is that very, very gentle, very kind of warm, safe kind of feel to it. So I think the score really kind of elevated that and really kind of sold that world of it. Judith Moy, she took, I think a couple of weeks. Her first pass of the score was so close to perfect. She's just, incredibly talented composer. And then another Natalie, our VFX artist, I think, again, she took a few more weeks. There was a lot. It ended up being quite a lot of visual effect work on there. I think a few weeks. So all in all, from conceiving the idea to fully locked, I think maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks. It was very quick. It was very quick.
Obviously, Cook the Heart has a very light-hearted, no pun intended, tone to it. It's educational. It's a big foodie culture now, so it's very relevant, but it's also incredibly dark. So what inspires you as a filmmaker to not only tackle that kind of subject matter, but to approach it in a way that is lighthearted?
Yeah, that's interesting. This is my first kind of foray into the horror world. And it really surprised me. It was when I cut the thing together, because all these scenes in isolation, and we were working with like a lamb shank, and there was a tenderloin. It was all very just light, and like you say, like light, very playful, very out of context. None of this stuff meant anything. And Dan, our actor, is a great chef. He did work in a butcher shop for a while. So for us, it was a bit of a cooking show. And then when we put the thing together and you get that context, people's stomachs just started to turn a little. And I think for me as a filmmaker, I'm always drawn to stories, and again, no pun intended, but have a lot of heart to them. And I think we did end up in a place where this is a story about a young woman who has lost her mother. She's looking for a kind of role model, mentor figure. He just so happens to be a ghost, and she's cooking people. But kind of mashing these things together really does interest me. And how do we take something is seemingly quite normal, quite straightforward, run of the mill, and then we just twist it just a little bit. And I think through the course of this process, I've found a new kind of interest in the slightly darker genres, the horrors, the comedy horrors, stuff like that. So yeah, very, very thankful for festivals who have programmed the work, to get that kind of audience feedback, and the audience response has been very inspiring to me, I think, as I move forward as a filmmaker.
What films have had the greatest influence on you as a filmmaker? What do you use as a reference for your work?
I think generally, and like I say, this is my Cook with the Heart was my first kind of horror genre type film. My background is theatre. I spent the early part of my career directing theatre, lots of Shakespeare, musicals, new plays, a real variety of stuff. So I think as I produce more film work and direct more film work, I am finding, kind of trying to find the work that I gravitate towards. And I think one of the things that kind of inspires me are those filmmakers who did kind of work in like kind of live performance theater work. So I look at the Sam Mendes, the Baz Luhrmanns, and they're producing very, very different work. But I think when you kind of look back, you start to make the connections, and you start to see, oh, well, they're story driven, or they're very, Baz Luhrmann is kind of way out there, but I think, I think it's character-driven work, and so I think it's more directors that inspire me rather than here's a genre or here's a kind of single film. And I like those people that can kind of work in multiple genres. I think for this particular project, Cook with the Heart, what we do in the shadows is a big kind of touch point for us. And again, that started as a short film, and then the feature, and then the series, and just the very dry, deadpan tone of that with these horrific things going on was definitely a kind of touch point for us, not just on set, but as we think about what we do with this thing moving forward. We do keep coming back to that, and then I start looking at the work of Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement, and I think it's just trying to be a sponge, I guess, trying to take in as much as I can.
So what's next for you? What's on the horizon?
So in 10 days, we start shooting our first feature film, which has been a long time coming. And obviously with the last couple of years, things, timelines got pushed back and all sorts of things. A dark comedy with some drama in there, a little bit of a sci-fi kind of element to it. So that's in the kind of immediate short term. Like I said, 10 days. It's all fine. Everything's prepped. We're all great. And then past that, there is. We're thinking about Cook with the Heart. I think again the way people have responded to that. There is a feature idea for that that's starting to take shape, and again maybe a kind of a serial, series type, 30-minute episode type approach as well. So we'll see. We've got some more festivals coming up. We'll see how that plays out, and then that will be up next after this feature next week.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, David.